A dream draft for the Charlotte Hornets must include a couple of things. Someone that can put pressure on the rim, someone that is great at catch and shoot with defensive potential, doesn't have to be a defensive star now, and then some wing players who can defend the point of attack and the perimeter. In this video, we'll look to achieve that. To start off, at the number 2 pick, the Charlotte Hornets will take Scoot Henderson. The reason Scoot Henderson is the pick at number 2, I think goes beyond basketball. Charlotte Hornets fans have been for a long time desperately just wanting talented players on their roster. We're one of the few teams in the NBA who's even had a chance to just put some talent together and say, hey, let's just see what happens. And this is the Hornets' chance. Don't worry about fit. Take the guy that you know is going to just be the better player, or at least as of right now has the highest upside. For 2 years, we've heard that Scoot Henderson is a generational prospect. Why miss out on that because of fit? And I know I could give a bunch of scenarios on why there's a lot of teams who went for fit and it didn't work out for them, but you could probably do the same thing for people who went for talent and it didn't work out for them. So I'm not going to go into that debate, but I am just going to say that the Charlotte Hornets, the fans, the organization desperately just needs talent overall. And why not take the most talented player outside of Victor Wembanyama, and that is Scoot Henderson. Someone who can apply rim pressure, even though he did struggle, I will say, in the G League, but a lot of that is due to there was no spacing on the G League Ignite, so it made it really difficult for him to be able to operate around the rim. But he does have a mid game, which is something that the Charlotte Hornets desperately need. We don't really have anyone that can operate in the mid range the way Scoot Henderson can. And we also don't have someone who is just has that dog in him like Scoot Henderson. We just don't. It is something that we're missing. And I think Scoot Henderson can just automatically bring leadership just by the way he practiced, by the way he carries himself. You pair that with LaMelo and it works extremely well. For basketball reasons, Scoot Henderson does everything that LaMelo doesn't, and LaMelo does everything that Scoot can't. I think that's the perfect pair. And then you would obviously have Scoot Henderson as the point of attack defender instead of someone like Terry Rozier, what we've been doing in the past. Scoot Henderson projects to be a much better defender than Terry Rozier has been in his entire career. So why pass up on that for something that may seem like it fits better, but in reality, the team just needs talent. Don't ignore talent. At 27, the Charlotte Hornets will not be picking. That's because in this dream scenario, I would hope that the Charlotte Hornets package 27 and a couple of their second round picks in order to move up to the early 20s or late teens. And that is because they'll be targeting Jordan Hawkins out of UConn. He is a wing that the Charlotte Hornets desperately need, who is someone that is way more efficient at the 3 than Kelly Oubre, and also just moves well without the ball like Terry Rozier. Kelly Oubre possibly not returning to the team, and with the Charlotte Hornets drafting Scoot Henderson, it is very possible they'll lose Terry Rozier as well. So why not get someone that can emulate kind of both of their games into one player, and that's Jordan Hawkins. He moves extremely well at the ball, and if you look, when Terry was at his best for the Charlotte Hornets with LaMelo playing point guard, it was because he was able to move freely without the ball, move around screens, and a lot of people were just not able to guard him. He just moved so well without the ball. That is Jordan Hawkins' key. Now, he does struggle to finish at the rim for a little bit, but we don't need that considering in this scenario we got Scoot Henderson. We also will have Miles Bridges. And as I mentioned earlier, the Charlotte Hornets will need someone with at least some kind of defensive potential, and that would be Jordan Hawkins. He has the size, he does play with effort on the defensive end, and that's all you can ask for, especially with how the defense has been for the last couple of years for the Charlotte Hornets. Jordan Hawkins would be a great pickup if he, for whatever reason, were to fall down the draft board. I think he would go more so in the lottery, late lottery, or maybe right outside the lottery. So if the Charlotte Hornets somehow are able to get him, like I said, in the early 20s or the late teens, that would just be a dream scenario. In order to get Jordan Hawkins, like I said, the Charlotte Hornets will more likely have to package 2 second round picks with 27 in order to move up. In this dream scenario, I have them giving up 34 and 41, which will just leave the Hornets with 39. And at 39, I have the Charlotte Hornets taking Tristan Vucevic out of Serbia. And the reason I will have them taking him is because of the fact that he is a big. He is a 7-foot power forward, essentially. Just think of someone like Kristaps Porzingis. They don't play the same necessarily, but I'm saying the same physical build. And that's important because the Charlotte Hornets don't have anyone like that. They don't have someone that's that big that can stretch the floor. JT Thor's shot has a long way to go. PJ is, one, he's not that big, and then two, his shot is a little iffy. I think he shoots well for his position. However, it's just not quite where you want it to be. And considering our center rotation, or even our big rotation in general, is PJ Washington, JT Thor, Nick Richards, Mark Williams, and maybe even throwing Kai Jones in there, we don't really have anyone that could space the floor. Tristan Vucevic can do that. that. I think the only thing that is worrisome about him is the fact that he does have to get bought at his European deal. It's the 39th pick. I think you take a risk there. You already got Scoot Henderson. You already got Jordan Hawkins. Why not take a risk and add something to the team that you don't have at all, which is a big that can shoot?